Chapter 7. The Sunday Clipper. I walked in the house with my shadow right behind me. On the one hand, I wanted to twist him into a pretzel for telling everyone we were moving. On the other hand, I almost felt relieved that everyone knew. I still didn't feel any better about moving, but it was one less thing to worry about. I started my math homework right away. I wanted to have plenty of time after dinner to work on my list. Sitting at the kitchen table, I opened up my math book. Before I could find a pencil, my grandfather walked in. "Grandma and I missed you at breakfast today." In the morning, things were so hectic in my house that we usually ate breakfast at my grandparents'. I was so tired this morning that I had forgotten all about it. "I figured I'd better get used to not eating at your house anymore," I said in another attempt to make him feel guilty and let me move in. I was hoping my absence left such a void at breakfast that he came up to beg me to move in. "Really?" he asked. "We were hoping you would keep coming for breakfast until you move." Until I move? That definitely did not sound like begging, I thought. "I was running late," I said. "I didn't sleep very well." "Did you think about the move?" In my opinion, that was the most ridiculous question ever asked. How could I think about anything else? Except for my baseball dream, which I was still mad about not finishing, this move was all I thought about. "Yeah," I said, pretending to do my homework. "Do you feel any better?" he asked. "No, Pop. In fact, I don't think I'll ever be happy again. Timmy told my friends today, and no one even knew what to say." I suspect that they were probably shocked. I'm sure they didn't want to say how they really feel because they didn't want to make you feel bad, he said. "Well, I don't think it matters. Either way, I feel bad." My grandfather was the kind of guy who knew when to push and when to back off. It was one of the things I liked best about him. He saw that I wasn't in the mood to talk, so he backed off. "Well, I'm going to give your grandmother a hand downstairs," he said as he walked toward the door. "Should we expect you for breakfast tomorrow?" "I guess." I finished my homework and decided to watch television until dinner. I flipped through the stations and found the New Jersey Network News. I was hoping they would have a breaking story from the governor's office. Maybe they just passed a law so no one else could move to New Jersey. Instead, they were interviewing a farmer. By the time dinner was ready, I had learned two things. New Jersey does have farms, and it's called the Garden State. That's it, I thought. My father wants us to move there because it's called the Garden State. Suddenly, it all made sense. My father, whose whole life revolved around fruits and vegetables, was dragging us out of Philadelphia so his license plate would say Garden State. I felt myself getting mad all over again. I kept watching. The anchorman said the weather forecast was next. It was strange, but they were having the same weather as Philadelphia. It must have been a coincidence. "Nikki, Timmy, Maggie, it's time for dinner," my mom called. I could smell the peanut butter as Maggie walked by the family room. I often wondered how a 4-year-old could always smell like peanut butter. Maybe she took peanut butter bubble baths. Nick, are you coming? Mom said it's time for dinner. Are you coming?" Timmy asked, again, 2 inches from my face. He was amazing. You could set your watch by him. He couldn't go more than 10 minutes without seeing what I was up to. We shared a bedroom for as long as I could remember, and I sometimes heard him call my name in his sleep. "I'm coming," I said. "I'm coming." We all sat down for dinner, and I already knew we would talk about the house. I just figured it would start after they asked us how our days went. "So I talked to the realtor," my dad began. I was wrong. We would lead off with the new house. I guess knowing how everyone's day went could wait. "Marjorie said we can move in next month." "Really?" my mom said. "Do you think we can be ready?" "Well, it'll be tough, but I know we can do it." There's only one problem, and it's not a big problem. I guess it's just an issue. What is it, Jim? My mom asked, stopping in her tracks. Well, the house is going to cost a little more than I figured, with closing costs and everything, so we're going to have to tighten our belts to make this work. With that, Maggie jumped up from the table, ran to her bedroom, and returned with a pink belt. Here, Daddy, she said, handing it to him. You can have my belt. My parents started laughing, then Timmy and even Emma. Even though she didn't understand why she was laughing, Emma was a follower. You could just, out of the clear blue sky, start laughing, and Emma would giggle for hours. No, sweetie, my mom said, hugging Maggie. That's not what Daddy meant. It's just an expression. I couldn't take it anymore. My father was just announced that we would have to make sacrifices to move to New Jersey, and everyone was laughing about it. Exactly how tight? I asked. What? My dad said, still cracking up. Exactly how tight will the belt have to be? I repeated rather impatiently. Oh, my dad said, well, nothing drastic. We'll just have to be more careful with our money. We'll have to cut out some of the extras for a while. Cut out some of the extras, I thought. We already sneak 3 pounds of popcorn and a 12-pack of soda in the diaper bag when we go to the movies. When we go out to eat, we eat at 4:30 with all of the old people because Dad says it's better for digestion. He didn't know that I know it's cheaper to order the early bird specials. We never ordered dessert out because my dad said it's more fun to eat popsicles in the grocery store parking lot. What could we possibly tighten? What extras? I asked, growing angrier by the minute. I couldn't wait to hear what my father considered to be an extra. Well, for starters, you kids could bring your lunch to school instead of buying it there. That's not a problem, my mom said. The girls and I could make them at night in our brand new kitchen. I rolled my eyes. So much for relax. This is just a phase. Another way we could save some money is by buying generic food, my dad suggested. We're not Jewish, Timmy interjected. Not kosher food, Tim. Generic food. It tastes the same. It looks different than the brand names. I don't get it, Timmy groaned. Let me explain, I said in my most sarcastic tone. Instead of the foods you are used to, you'll be eating Circle-O's for breakfast and drinking lemon-lime soda with dinner. Believe it or not, Nick, many generic food are made of the same plants as the brand names. They just don't waste money on advertising. It'll be fine. I bet you won't even notice. What else? I asked. Well, I thought we should start clipping coupons. My store doubles coupons up to $1, and I'm sure the savings could add up. In fact, since you're the oldest, Nick, maybe that will be your job. Every Sunday, I'll pick up a few extra papers, and you can cut out the coupons for me. It'll be fun. Or maybe they could sell their oldest son to a nice family that lives in Philadelphia.